I am very proud to present the head of the School of Music, Dr. Milton Laufer.
Thank you. That was really kind. You may not know this, but speaking publicly is more intimidating to me than playing the piano publicly. So I have some remarks prepared, but you should know that we have alumni and we have faculty, staff, and donors that are watching a stream of this as well. So it is sort of an all-school, a music-wide thing. I'm a little froggy. I've had a little bit of a cough, so forgive my lozenge and some throat clearing that might appear. After I make these remarks, I'll open the floor up for questions. You may have some. Around 6 months ago, I walked into this school as someone new to Pittsburgh, new to Carnegie Mellon, and new to all of you. I had been here once before, in October of 2024, when I was given the privilege of interviewing for this role. It was Halloween. I don't know if you remember that, if any of you were in ACH and fielding that questions that day with me. But I left knowing I wanted to be here. What I couldn't have anticipated was how it would feel to actually arrive. What I found was a community of extraordinary warmth. Faculty and staff who went out of their way to welcome me, to orient me, to share their knowledge of this place and their investment in it. I met students who were open and engaged from the first day. And beyond the school, the city, a community of people who have been genuinely kind to my family and to me. I don't take that for granted. And I want to say personally, thank you. Thank you for welcoming me. You made this place feel like home much faster than I had any right to expect. One of the first things I chose to do here deliberately, because I wanted to make a statement about what matters to me, was to perform alongside our students. Not for you, but alongside you. Because I wanted it to be clear from the very beginning that I'm not here to stand apart from the work. I'm here because I love music in all its forms, the same way you do. That love is what brought every person in this room and to those joining us virtually into this field. It is the most important thing we share. Everything else, titles, programs, and partnerships, are built on that foundation. So before I tell you what we're building, I want to talk a little bit about our foundation. The School of Music is healthy. I want to be direct about that because it matters and because you need to hear it clearly. Our faculty are excellent, rigorous, dedicated, and deeply committed to their students and their craft. Our staff are exceptional, and our students are among the finest creative talents anywhere. We are not a school in need of rescue or reinvention. We are a school with tremendous momentum, a school of music that lives inside one of the great technological universities on earth, with tools, research environments, and cross-disciplinary possibilities that are genuinely quite rare. My job is to honor what's been built here and to help us reach further. This past October, we welcomed a visiting evaluation team from NASM, the National Association of Schools of Music, which is our accrediting body. Last week, I received the visitor's report. I skimmed it. I haven't dived into it deeply yet, but I will be sharing it with our chairs soon. I view this process as not an audit, but an invitation to look honestly at what we teach, how we teach it, and whether our curriculum is truly preparing students for the profession as it exists today. Led by our curriculum committee and area chairs, that review is actively underway, and I believe the questions it's revealing to us are exactly the right ones. A school confident in its foundation should welcome scrutiny, and we do. We look inward so that we can look outward with confidence. And that is precisely this foundation, honestly examined and firmly held, that allows us to reach further. Because excellence without the widest audience is only half the story. So now for the fun part. The vision I'm setting for the school is that we will be outward-facing, that we will take our artistry into the world, not as an occasional ambition, but as a defining commitment. You've earned that, not someday, now. I'll share what this looks like. In March of 2027, some of you will take the stage at Wild Recital Hall at Carnegie Hall in New York City. Solo performers and chamber ensembles will perform there. Additionally, a new work by one of our own student composers will receive its premiere there. There are few rooms in the world that carry that weight. Every great artist of the modern era has performed there. Our students will perform there because they belong there. Later that same spring, we will bring together ensembles and performers from across Pittsburgh for a performance of Benjamin Britten's War Requiem. Alongside our CMU choirs and Philharmonic, this is not a modest undertaking. The War Requiem is a massive, shattering work. Britten wrote it in 1962, setting the poetry of Wilfred Owen against the Latin Mass, a meditation on sacrifice, loss, and the futility of war. He intended it as a statement, and we're performing it now in this moment because we believe music has an obligation to speak to the world as it actually is. In a time of profound uncertainty, art is not an escape from what is happening. It is a way of bearing witness to it. By anchoring this performance and uniting Pittsburgh's musical community around it, we are declaring something very, very clearly. CMU School of Music is not a place apart from this city or apart from this world. We are part of both, and we intend to honor that responsibility at scale. In the spring of 2028, I would like for our Philharmonic Orchestra to tour the United Kingdom. The tour will culminate in a performance at Carnegie Hall, not the one in New York, but the Carnegie Hall in Dunfermline, Scotland, the birthplace of Andrew Carnegie himself. The name we carry, the name on this university, the name above our doors, came from this man born in a small Scottish town who believed that access to knowledge and culture could transform lives. We'll travel to where that place, where that belief began. That journey is not incidental to who we are. It is a statement about who we are. Excellence deserves not only a stage, it deserves a living art form to inhabit. The winners of last year's chamber music competition approached me with a proposal asking for financial support to commission a new work written just for them. It was a novel and brilliant idea. Of course, I said yes, and thought we could reach a little farther. So beginning this year, the winner of our chamber music competition will receive a commission, a new work written by a composer of their choosing for which they will have exclusive rights to perform and record for 1 year. We train our students to interpret the great works of the past, but we must also train them to be stewards of what comes next. The music being written today is the heritage of the next generation. We want you to be at the center of that. None of what I've described happens in isolation. It doesn't happen without the alumni who carry the school's name into the world and who give back to make sure the next generation can do the same. It does not happen without the donors and friends who believe in what we are building here, whose generosity makes tours, special performances, and opportunities like these not just possible, but real. To all of you, we see you. We are grateful, and every note our students play on those stages is a direct reflection of your investment in them. This work is shared. And it doesn't happen without partners who share our ambitions. This fall, the Carnegie Mellon School of Music becomes an official partner of the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. And this partnership is unlike anything at our peer academic or their peer orchestral institutions in the country. Over the next 4 years, every music student will have a PSO Go Pass subscription. You will be able to attend all pops and classical concerts for the season. You'll hear live world-class orchestral performances, not occasionally, not by chance, but as a regular part of your education. Hearing greatness is not far removed from achieving it. PSO associate conductors will rehearse and perform with the CMU Philharmonic at 2 concerts each academic year. Maestro Manfred Honeck, one of the most celebrated conductors working today and the artistic soul of our orchestra, will visit our school each year. And each season, 5 PSO guest soloists and conductors will be in residence here, giving master classes, performing on recitals, engaging in career talks, playing on the chamber music series, collaborating in rehearsals directly with you, with our students on stage. This is not a ceremonial partnership, it's a structural one. It changes what daily life looks like for our students in this school, and it deliberately blurs the line between training and professional life, because that line should be porous. So I'd like to close by returning where I began. I came here because I love this work. I've stayed, I am staying, because of the people in this room. We're bound together by a love of music in all its forms, and that's not a small thing. In a field that asks as much of us as this one does, that shared devotion is everything. Our students are excellent, not promising, excellent. They are not preparing to deserve these opportunities. They deserve them now. Every initiative I've described today is built on that premise and on my belief that this school's greatest obligation is to make sure the world knows what we already do about the people training within these walls. We will be external facing. We will share our artistry broadly and without apology. And we will do it because the musicians in this room and those joining us virtually have already done the work to earn it. Thank you for welcoming me, for trusting me, and for making the past 6 months some of the most rewarding of my professional career. I can open the floor to any questions now. You're gonna make me get weepy. Stop it. This is a lot. We've moved through. We've been able to do a lot in just 6 months. I'm excited about what the next 6 will bring, and what will come after that. You should know that the Wild performance in Carnegie Hall I'm trying to establish as an alternate year thing. So 27 Wild, 28 UK, 29 Wild. So. Anyway, do you have any questions about what I've said so far? Yes?
Can we include Carnegie Mellon record label as part of this whole package of record?
It is. We're working on that for sure. So, you know, especially as we look at the commissions of these new works, it would mean a lot to me if, you know, we commissioned these new chamber music works and they were recorded on our label and distributed. You know, my goal is obviously, you know, explaining streaming rights and all of that stuff can be a bit of a web, but in an ideal world, the masters would just go to the students who recorded it and we would expect a credit, but that's what we're shooting for. It's part of the package, so we'll see if we can get it. Yes?
Sorry, this might be specific, but like
It's never too late to pick up an instrument. No, I'm just kidding. No, I didn't mean like that. My long term, my goal is to have our ensembles perform on every inhabited continent in the next 10 years. So orchestra gets the first crack, but I think, vocal ensembles as well as wind ensemble. So, and the idea of commissioning works to celebrate these tours is also part of it. So you won't have to play an instrument. You'll probably be able to sing on a tour in the next coming years. Sure. Yes?
How do you see jazz and genres outside of traditional classical music influencing our trajectory as a school of music?
I came from a program that had, for those of you online, the question was how I see jazz and other genre of music fitting into this plan. I came from a program that had a really rigorous jazz and commercial music program. I think this is part of our curricular review. I think we need to have exposure to the broadest types of music possible. The question is how it's integrated. Do we reinstate the jazz minor? Do we create it as a track of study, like sort of a general jazz studies? What does commercial voice look like? I mean, these are questions that we'll tackle. But I see a future for it, especially in a city with this heritage and the access we have. I also, looking at composers and knowing that arranging is such an important part of the job, right? And a studio musician is expected to be able to play so many different things. I think that's part of, I think it's something that we need to explore. I think it's something that would be very beneficial. So it's in its infancy, as it starts, but we want you to be as marketable and as strong as possible when you enter the market. Man, it got really quiet. Any other questions? Yes.
Sorry, this is
You do not have to say sorry before you ask.
specifically for the Carnegie Hall opportunity. I guess auditions for that, is it for specific years of stuff are your seniors?
No, you don't have to be from a specific. It's open to including the incoming students who will be coming and joining us in the fall of 26, right? So it's similar to the way we curated the NASM showcase that we had in this room. Faculty would send nominations forward. We would start to kind of curate a program and vet it. The planned date is Monday, March 8th, 2027. That's the Monday of spring break. Gives us some flexibility to go over there. And of course, faculty are welcome too. So not to play and sing, but to be there to witness this and sound check everybody. Yes.
I know you mentioned about composers getting commissioned by chamber ensembles to write, but how do you see other than that opportunities for composers to be integrated into a lot of these programs and partnerships?
Well, the idea of the commission, and I mean this gently, is not to commission other students to write pieces for them, but it's to go out into the world and find the composer, right, that they're seeking. I think for our students, composition is so personal and so tailored. The idea is, at least, I think, more customized. What do you need individually? You need musicians to play your works. Can we set up a fund for you to be able to pay some musicians to get together and read your works? Yeah, we can do that. Can we help offset some expenses to travel somewhere, to have something played. Those are barriers that I'd like to remove. But I'm going to need more conversations with you, and with our composers about what you all need and how we can make it happen. And I mean that. I mean, I do want our students to look outside of the school for the commissions. Because you'd be like, oh, this is my buddy, I'm going to split it with him. I mean, we want to make sure that that's outside. Yes?
For those of us in like electronic music as a major, and I guess also music and tech, how do you see those two, but specifically electronic music fitting into the future vision, and what opportunities we will be able to have?
Well, it's very serious. We've initiated the conversation with Weil about what we can put in, what type of tech we can have in order for electronic music composers to participate in that concert. So there may be more than one premiere. So it starts there. And it's similar to our composers. It's about learning where the needs are and how we can fix them, how we can address them. But that's the first one. My sense was just that there's so much great stuff happening here, on stage and off. But we're doing it for each other. And I want to do it for everyone else. I want them to know, because I think that this place has that level. And we have people that believe in us, so they're helping to fund it. And that was really a major part of this. PSO was our first partnership. There's still more. There's still more organizations. Pittsburgh Opera, of course, and others who I think will be crucial for us to move forward and to develop more opportunities for him. Yes?
Is there any sort of plan or initiative to expand our physical facilities within the spaces?
We have some. So one of the things we got dinged on was facility in the visitors report on our accreditation. Performance, the lack of a permanent performance space. We do go into Carnegie Music Hall and rent it. I think that WQED has got to be a priority. It's sort of in the air right now. We're in year 2 of a 3-year lease. It's a space that's pretty important, but we don't own it. We sort of rent it. So how much we invest in infrastructure there for electronic music in particular, it's difficult to forecast. But yeah, I'm aware of the needs. We need a major gift. We need a major gift in order to name the School of Music. We need a major gift to build. But I think it's possible. It's a priority, but you see, you don't engage those individuals unless you're doing concerts like this, unless you're out there doing the War Requiem with 4 different organizations in the community. And we need to reach them, and that's the way we reach them. That's the first contact. And who knows? It may be years, it may be sooner. You may be graduated. I mean, hopefully. No, I don't mean hopefully you'll graduate. I mean hopefully, or we'll get it so fast you'll still be a student here. That's what I'm saying. You never know. I have to say that I did not expect all of this to come together in my first semester, right? So I'm a second semester freshman. So I'm still learning, like some of you, right? So I'm still learning a lot from the faculty and staff. I'm learning a tremendous amount of history and context so that I don't walk in and ruin relationships and stuff. I want to make sure that I do this intelligently. So I don't think I'm going to have a full grasp until about this time next year about, what's possible. Plus the expectations are high because people are saying, well, if you did this in 6 months, you better show up and do something. It better be good, you better have something good. I saw you checking your watch right there. I saw that, man. I got my contacts in. I can see what's going on. Yes.
How's construction going in the building?
House construction? Oh, that's a, there's Jesse. I think, I mean, he gave us a shrug. I think that's a separate address. I'm assuming things are going on schedule. How are things going, Jesse? Not to put you on the spot.
They're pretty much done, except for this fire alarm testing that will never end.
Someone should write a piece for that.
They have plans for 5 to 10 years more, but they need funding too.
Yes.
So I know you're talking about a lot of like different plans and stuff like that. Do you have any like ideas or goals in mind for like interdisciplinary projects? Because I know like especially last year among the freshmen there was a lot of talk of like working collaboratively, and I'm sure that's reflected with upperclassmen as well. So I was just wondering if there's any like plans or goals for that.
We need that. I mean, this is such a unique institution, right? Because we have these crown jewels artistically and in technology. There needs to be more collaboration. I did have a chance to talk with some of our colleagues in other areas in computer science and engineering, just to understand how the School of Music is viewed, how artistry is viewed. I think they're waiting for us in some capacity. I think they're waiting for us to talk about what we want. And I think we'll be prepared to do that. Interdisciplinary can't just be throwing people in a room, and just waiting to see what happens. Like, it needs to be guided. And, this new hire that we're negotiating with now is going to be crucial for that. Because my expectation is that that's an individual that's going to be sort of a unifying force in music technology, composition, and electronic music, right? And it's so important. It's so important that we have a cohesive idea. It's hard when it's hard to explain a degree that is difficult to explain, right? I mean, even if you read about it in our catalog, you almost have to have the degree in order to be clear on what it does, right? And so I think part of it is just clarifying purpose, clarifying goals, and then building the structures to do it. But I think it has to happen. People ask me they asked me at first, what's your vision for the school? I'm like, well, I don't know. I just got here. I don't know yet. And now when I'm traveling and when I'm talking to donors and alumni, I'm like, well, if Curtis and MIT had a baby, that's what I want. That's what I want CMU to be. And for some reason, they get that. So it works. So I'm sticking with it. So if someone asks you, hey, what does the new head think? But the idea that collaboration should be our third crown jewel, right? First, orchestra. Second, opera. Third, music technology and composition, including electroacoustic composition, right? So those are our three crown jewels. Yes?
So we are doing some collaboration between music and technology and other areas of the university on a more or less individual and ad hoc arrangement. But I think we now have a critical mass of students in music and technology to actually implement that in a more formal way.
It's, when you have these free tracks and this ability to create sort of this a la carte programs, it gives you the chance to test what works and what doesn't. And you have enough of a case study to figure out what works, then we roll with those. I mean, I think the biggest challenge for us is that, nothing has to be permanent. If an idea is terrible, we'll stop doing it and we'll do something else. We have that flexibility. So we should experiment. We should take chances. This is the time to do it. Yes.
So we received a question online from a faculty member wanting to know, how would you like to see alumni involved?
At the organic level, I'm hoping that we will have alumni in the audience in New York City. We hosted our first New York City event in many, many years. I guess it was in October. It was shortly after the Gershwin with you all. Then there was a hunger for reconnecting. There was a hunger to be back. So I think alumni events in New York City are going to be important. I think the Wild concert is going to be important. I would like to have them there. I would like to have prospective students from the New York City area who maybe were very strong performers, or composers, be part of the audience. It would be nice to have alumni back to play with us once in a while. Like that contemporary music ensemble concert was very powerful, and so I'd like to see more of that. The alumni are your path wherever you go, right? So we want to have a network where you're able to reach out to someone in any city. If you're auditioning for an orchestra, if you're auditioning for another program, graduate school, whatever, we want you to know someone in every city so that you can connect. And so building that network is one of my focuses now. I think I have trips to San Francisco and Chicago, in my hometown, the next couple of months to continue engaging with alumni. But we want to bring them back. And I think, maybe for the UK trip, we'll be able to invite alumni along. We can have them join. Not necessarily to play, but to be a part of it. Unless we're short on a certain instrument group. But. Yes?
Hi, I would love more details on the war requiem, if you have them.
So I have a hold on Heinz Hall right now. The challenge with that at the moment is that the hold is for May 2nd. We're trying to get May 1st, and they're not giving us that date yet. So I'm trying to convince them to let us have it so that we can load in risers. Now, I have to be a little bit careful because I haven't invited. A lot of people are hearing about this for the first time, including those on our faculty. They didn't know about the Carnegie Hall stuff, and they didn't know about the UK tour. So likewise, the people I'm planning to contact to join us on stage don't necessarily know that I'm asking them yet. But I will say, so I'm just saying that as a preface. It obviously requires soloists, vocal soloists, a youth chorus, a chorus, an orchestra, and a chamber orchestra, right? So this is, it's just so massive. So using your powers of, judgment, where would you think I'd ask for those? I probably the youth chorus in Pittsburgh, probably the young artists at Pittsburgh Opera if they were available, probably some of our own singers if they're available. We need a bigger chorus. We might have to enlist some local groups. So the idea is to be truly en masse. And it makes a statement. That's really it, right? It's a powerful way to end the semester, and it's a powerful way for us to be outward facing. Oh, yeah.
So with Maestro Curtis taking charge of the Philharmonic as the director, do you have any current plans to hire a new director for the contemporary ensemble permanently?
I think I haven't thought of that yet. The movements here, particularly with the orchestra and their guest conductors, their associate conductors coming in and all of this gives us some opportunity. We may assign a series, we may assign a concert to one of them. We may have guest conductors come in. I think it's just a question of what benefits us the most. And, of course, we have financial commitments that we have to make sure, we have to balance our budget. I mean, that's important. But I do think that, the contemporary ensemble, it's important. So, I mean, we'll make sure that you have what you need. Yeah.
The trips that you mentioned to New York and the UK, are those something that would like flights we would have to self-fund or would we have help from the school?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. I'm sorry.
So the trips to New York and to the UK that are they funded by the school or the students have to fund their own flights and we would have?
No, we'll help with all of that. Yeah, no. We want to make sure, so probably guess, in anticipation of a performance like, you're talking about the domestic performance, we would probably travel the night before by bus. We would charter a bus, we'd load our instruments in. We'd get there, do a loadout, sound check on Monday morning, run of show, and then a performance that night, come back Tuesday. That's what I would anticipate. But we would reserve a block of rooms. There's a couple of hotels that are right across the street, and we would all be together. But no, you would not have to be like on Google Travel trying to figure out how you're going to get there. Well, that's our job. We wouldn't put you in that position. Yeah.
I have another question about facilities, more
Yeah.
specifically availability. Now I understand. I know like the prep school is like one of the big parts of one of the main revenue sources for the school. But I was wondering if there could be a bit more transparency as to when their lessons and stuff are scheduled, because I've heard a lot of scenarios where like people want to use the studio or wanted to book a rehearsal and it was just like completely blocked out for prep school. I was wondering if you had any control over transparency for that.
Well, Saturday is prep school day, right? So that's the big day. I think one of the things that we're doing is investing in a well, this is boring, but it's going to be helpful. It's a software called Azimut. Is it from Finland or is it Denmark? Denmark. It's a scheduling software that some of our sister institutions use, and the idea is that we will have every room accounted for and every schedule accounted for, so that we know when studios are available. Part of the reason why we have to occupy a classroom, to be perfectly honest, is we don't have a complete schedule of what's happening in the studios. So we'd like to teach in other spaces. This should help us with that. It should also help you with reserving your rooms. And just, you'll be able to, it's app-based, you'll be able to see what's happening in every room and check its availability, which is something we can't do now. So Google Doc won't handle that. So I think some of this is going to be alleviated with technology, and some of it's going to be alleviated with better communication. Yeah, I understand. Any other hands up? Well, I just want you to know, I love coming here and seeing you all. If I see you in the hallway or if I see you on stage, I've tried to attend every performance I can whenever I'm in town. And it's just really, really wonderful. I'm going to my alma mater in 2 weeks. I guess not. I guess I'm playing sooner than that. I'm playing a concerto with the Rice Orchestra, which is my alma mater, for their 50th anniversary. And so I'll be back at my alma mater and working with students there. I'll be doing a little bit of teaching and playing. And it's unusual when you have that feeling of being an alum and you're coming back to your home institution. I think we can do that here too. So I'm really excited. All to say though, I'd rather play with you guys. So anyway, thanks Thanks for giving me this time. Thank you for giving me this time.